Hello and welcome back to another video on the Colgresseth Racing YouTube channel and Facebook page. And I know I have not posted in a very long time, and part of that is, well, the last video I posted I was still working, and we were really busy this summer. I worked for my uncle at his HVAC company, so that kept me busy pretty much all summer. And then once that ended up coming to an end, school started again. I'm a 10th grader this year. So that obviously got really busy too, and I'm also doing robotics, which takes up a lot of time as well too. So just haven't really had time to do this, along with it being special season, which is a really busy time for us, and you'll see that here in the upcoming videos. Kind of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to condense weekends into just one video. There should be shorter videos, hopefully around 20-ish minutes, a little shorter, shooting for like 15, and then that'll have the full weekend of racing in it. But we're going to start off our first weekend with the Labor Day weekend special. We traveled from Fergus Falls to Greenbush to Lisbon, and I raced my first ever 4 nights in a week, so that was certainly interesting. And let's start it off with Fergus Falls. We started 6th in the heat, I believe, and ended up driving it to the front for the win. We're going to play that heat race for you right now. So that was just a few little clips from the heat race. I'm not going to play the whole thing because obviously we're kind of in a time crunch, trying to get this in under 15 minutes. But so obviously coming out of that, we had some very fast cars in our heat. So we were super excited. We knew we were going to have a good starting spot in the A because they redraw top 8 or whatever. But there was a lot of cars there. I think there was 4 or 5 heats of us. So to do as well as we did, we were super pumped up and super excited to make the redraw. So we ended up starting first in the feature, and it was certainly an interesting one. So we'll play that now. So that feature was busy. I didn't show much of it just because you kind of just single file around the bottom. I think I fell back to 5th. I was able to fall back in line. On a restart, they put me in front of the 4th place car, which worked really well because then I got the inside on the double file restart, and it just kind of went from there. A few cautions came out. If I would have finished one spot farther forward, I would have made the race champions the race champions at the Weathersfield 100, which will be coming up in a few later videos. But that would have been really cool to make, but whatever. I mean, we still ended up 4th out of a lot of cars. Really had some good momentum going into the rest of the weekend. So we stayed overnight in Fergus Falls after the races on Friday night, and then woke up the next morning and packed up all of our stuff and drove to Greenbush, Minnesota, which is an almost 4-hour drive for their two-day Labor Day weekend special that they always have every year. We didn't make it there last year going to Devil's Lake, and this year we really wanted to go support Greenbush because they always have an awesome track, and our uncles were going to be able to race in there too. But anyways, we had a really good start to our weekend, drawing a terrible number again. So we were going to be starting in the back of our heat race, and once again it was just like the top. I think there was probably 14 of us there or so. We just had to get top 4 in our heat to transfer, so that was our goal. And we're going to play some of them clips from the heat right now. So that was a very eventful heat race, obviously making our way to the front and securing our finish where we were able to make the redraw. And I think we were really the only car this night that passed any cars in the heat races. So we were starting up front in the feature, and the faster guys were starting a little farther back. So we were feeling really good about where we were at, and just figured we had a shot to get out and hopefully pick up our first win of the season, knowing that the faster guys were towards the back. But we're gonna play those clips from the first night in Greenbush, the feature, and here we go. Complain. We made tech, ended up 5th, and I mean, it was fun. I kept picking the outside on the restarts. I only showed one or two restarts, but I kept picking the outside on the restart because I'd get a good run into 1 and 2, and it just wouldn't work out for me. So obviously Dykhoff is really fast. He passed a whole bunch of cars right away in that race, and then the train just passed me on the top. But we were able to hang on to 5th, so far we have a 4th and 5th on the weekend. Can't complain about that. So we're going to go on to now a Sunday night's heat race, which is also in Greenbush, Minnesota. And this was also a very eventful one. I think I started 3rd, and when you start 3rd, you just kind of got to stay there just to make the redraw. But a few laps in, car was feeling really, really good, so we went for it, and we were able to get the heat race win, which is obviously our 2nd of the weekend, which is awesome. We just got to turn those heat race wins into feature wins, and we were going to try and do that night in the feature, but it was a little bit harder. We're ending up where we started, so let's play the heat race clips and see what you guys think. Obviously, like I said, we were able to drive it to the front, and that was super, it really made us feel good about where we were at, because we made a little bit of an adjustment between Saturday night and Sunday night, and obviously it seemed to be just fine, freeing us up a little bit. Hopefully we could run the bottom. That was our goal, and obviously we didn't have to there, but if we did, the option was there. Obviously showing in 3 and 4 was pretty decent. Anyways, like I mentioned before the heat race, our draw was not as good for the feature. We ended up having to start 5th or 6th, I don't really remember, but it was somewhere kind of mid-pack, or not mid-pack, but towards the back of the redraw spots. And that was kind of unfortunate because the faster guys were in front of us. But obviously if you don't pass them, you're not going to win anyways. He's probably going to pass you. So it was a good way to learn the track a little bit more from more of the locals and some of the faster guys that race there weekly. So we were able to move up to 3rd pretty quickly there, and let's play the feature clips now.
3 seconds out, run away.
So the feature went very, very good. We ended up moving up to 3rd place, ran 4th for a while, ended up getting by the other car for the 3rd spot. Can't complain, two of the best drivers. They won some pretty big races towards the end of the year here. Obviously, you got Kyle Dykoff, who won the national championship, and Tucker Peterson, who ended up winning the John Seitz Memorial. Can't complain with getting beat by them guys. We were still not as fast though, so we were kind of leaving stuff out on the table. But we ended up getting 3rd, so far we have a 5th, a 4th, and a 3rd in our weekend, and we were super pumped because this is like the best weekend we've ever had racing, and it was super fun. So obviously we still had a lot of momentum going into Lisbon on Sunday, so we packed up our stuff early Monday morning, not Sunday, Monday. Packed our stuff up early Monday morning, took and drove home, which is like 2.5 hours from Greenbush. And we took a shower and all that. I was watching the $1 Million Curse or whatever on Devin Moran. That was a super cool documentary, and it took me a little ways, or took me most of the way home to watch, but watched it on the way home. And then we got home, showered, kind of just changed some stuff, got ready for Lisbon, and then took off for an hour and 20-minute drive there. So we were definitely putting on the miles. Unfortunately, I don't have any clips from Lisbon, which is not really all that bad because I'll just explain it to you what happened. And we couldn't have been more fortunate for when it happened. But in the heat race, we started up front, we stayed up front, and I mean, we can't complain. We made the redraw again, so 4 nights, 4 redraws, can't complain. Anyways, come feature time, we went out there. Car was feeling really, really good. I think we were running 3rd. It was only like 2 laps in or whatever, but running 3rd, I think we were faster than the guys who were leading it on the bottom, and they were on the top. So I really felt like we had a really good car and a really good shot at making the top 5 again for the 4th night in a row. But when I entered turn 1 and 2, I think it was like 3 or 4 laps in, the steering wheel just started rattling, and it wasn't a vicious rattle. I mean, it was kind of subtle, but it was enough to where it didn't feel right. And when I stepped on the gas pedal, it also felt like the gas pedal kind of shattered a little bit, or also rattled, I guess you could say, in a way. And so I pulled off, and we went in the pits, and Dad was digging through stuff. We were taking stuff apart, looking at it. Everything seemed fine. Dad took it for a drive around the pits. I took it for a drive around the pits, and it all felt like pretty decent. And then we got home, started looking into it, and we were thinking, oh, it's power steering. But and then ended up being the steering box. I don't know what it was, but maybe it was just old. I don't really know. But it had like a little skip in it or something, so it was ratcheting. And so we ended up finding a new one of them Wednesday night before the sights. But then, not only that, Wednesday night before the sights, it's like 8:30. We're like, okay, we gotta change gears now. So we popped the gears out, and the gears had also busted at the same time. So that's what I was feeling with, like a throttle. So obviously super fortunate it happened at the time it did. So we weren't, like, it was the last night of the weekend, but also kind of bummed because we didn't complete our top 5s all weekend long, which is, like I said, kind of disappointing, but couldn't happen at a better time. So that's gonna wrap up our Labor Day weekend and kind of conclude the last of the regular race weekends. This is kind of what we consider the start of the specials, and it's only going to get busier from here. So let's kind of wrap up today's video. Thanks for watching, and boom, 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 I'll go the lights.